Taylor Talk.
Oh, when you rap?
Yeah, this the new normal.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, we're going back to 89.
Taylor Talk, like that. Say, and then you got to be, I'm going to get it one day.
If you hand it like this, they feel like you're from the church. But if
Well,
you hand it like this, they know that God ain't done with you yet.
Well, I want to be the new church female rapper. Wait, when you do like that, that means God ain't done with you
When
yet?
you hold the mic like this, they know God ain't done with you yet. And when you hold the mic like this, they think you're great talk about the sick and shut in. Oh, Sister Gertrude.
Sean is starting early in the game.
I ain't did nothing.
Sean, you do it every Tuesday. Like
I love it.
Sean, you hard-headed.
That's how they know we live.
Sean be over there watching live. Wow,
I gotta make sure it's
Sean
right.
say, I gotta get
make
fed
sure
too.
It sound good, man. You know.
Sean say, I gotta get fed too.
You got some deaf folks out there. They say I can't hear. You know, so I want to make sure it's good.
Well, happy Tuesday. Good to be back with the crew. You know what I mean? Sean Nice in the building. Derikus in the building.
Yeah.
We also have Albert in the building.
Yeah,
First of all, Albert came out with his own collection, and I am wearing one of his pieces.
Look like it's painted on. Look like it's painted on.
That means it will be a good night.
My little graffiti baby.
Good night. Baby, you should how you be doing harmony.
I like that right there, Nice. Nice. From now on, when I start giving them compliments to my wife, I want you to drop a bomb on them, bro.
I got you,
Hey,
man.
Nice. She look
you.
amazing. Oh, I'm about to have some fun with this.
Yo, you just made me spit. Like, stop playing, y'all.
Ball head break.
Y'all, Kendall be really, really sweating. So thank you so much, Albert, for that. But, Albert, can you just please tell them your page and the name of the collection, please, out loud in the mic right there? Because I'm loving this bodycon dress.
Not as much as me.
The name of the collection is Bewildered Branches.
Get in the mic, son.
My fall 20, my fall 2020 collection. You can go on my page. It's Albert_Montrese. Check it out.
Albert_Montrese.
I like to support, you know, every Tuesday I always come on and, like, support small business, especially black business. And I met Albert. We've been together, for a year or two now? A year, some change. And Albert always does my outfits for stage. All right, if I'm doing anything, I call him last minute. He's got me. So I wanted to represent. I love it, dog.
Represent me. Oh, Albert, you too, but me.
Don't drop no bombs.
I'm waiting on it too. I'm like, I'm just trying to test. You know what I mean? It's going to be Al Qaeda around this joint.
You're like me, Sean, me.
She gave me that look. I got nervous. I said, all right.
Laughter is good for the soul. We want to thank everybody for coming back this Tuesday, tuning in. Like I said, the numbers always blows our minds. So we thank you for just taking the time out, kicking it with us. Shout out to both queens last night on the verse. I was in the bed last night. Like, I tried to do a video to send it to
Literally,
Brandy.
she was in pajamas, left the bed, went in the closet, got a hat, came back out and started.
Yeah, because I was trying to send a video to Brandy and let her know, tell Monica I was getting, but I was like, I look bad. That's okay. I'm going to just support over here on this end, you know. But it was dope to see two queens that I grew up listening to that paved the way for us. So that was big. So shout out to those queens who they killed the internet last night.
Yeah, salute. So we have a very, very interesting, in-depth, challenging topic to talk about. And it's not just based on the subject matter. It's because you and I are still trying to grow in this same thing. As we say every Tuesday, we're not experts. Don't try to cross-examine us like we have a degree. What we do is we take our mistakes, our learning lessons, our stumbles, and we put them out there so that we can all grow. And I'm very excited tonight because my queen with that graffiti dress on look like a subway in New York, girl. What we got? Yes! Yes! Yeah, yes. My
I'm the only female in here, and this has got to change. It's like I feel like y'all be like grouping up.
but here's what your backup. 80% of the listeners right now are women. They got your back. Let me mess up.
Say something, girls.
Let me mess up. You know what I mean?
Baby. Nah, that was cute. Y'all have your little thing. I'm cool with it.
Thank you, baby. I'm already drinking this zero sugar juice over here. Help me, Jesus.
Well, I'm drinking zero
This juice
sugar.
ain't got.
This juice ain't. This is zero sugar juice too.
That's that
Zero.
New Testament. Yeah. Yeah.
This communion juice.
I believe you.
It is. I just got it in a pretty glass.
But I'm excited tonight because my queen is going to open tonight. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go ahead and cook.
This, our topic is what I said versus what you heard. And I'm pretty sure that everybody who's watching and everybody in this room, you've been in a relationship or shine with your wife where you said something and then she say something, you be like, that ain't what I said. And it happens a lot. So I was doing some research, and I always tell the ladies that here lately, I like to start my day off reading or watching Ayanna Van Zet, or watching Jake's, or just watching anybody that, can feed the spirit man in this whole time. And there was, I want to say he's a therapist, babe.
I'm not sure this your joke.
I want to say he's a therapist. His name is Larry K. Langlois. I'm country. I almost jacked his last name up. But he was talking about something that I felt like I wanted to share that kind of I felt was perfect for this topic. And you tell me, you guys tell me what you think. So he says, your ability to truly listen in a relationship changes over time. In the beginning of a good relationship, listening is easy. Everything seems new and exciting, and partners are happy to make eye contact, support each other, and demonstrate that they care. Listening acts as a doorway into the other's heart, and feelings of connection and intimacy grow together as partners learn about each other with an open mind. Anything seems possible. Couples often experience higher levels of difficulty in communication at year 3. This is what he said. He's a professional, so he studied all of this. He said at year 3, 7, or 10 years into the relationship. Okay. I found that very interesting, and I'm going to tell you why when I'm done. After two people have been together for a while, listening becomes less natural, and past experiences with that partner often cloud the present and impact one's ability to listen with an open mind. A partner may think that they know what the other is going to say before they say it. I'm pointing, but
I'm grown.
when you point, it's enough.
I'm with
we
it.
both
No,
do it.
I wasn't defensive.
I'm
I'm
just
guilty
saying.
as charged.
Drop that bomb, Sean.
That's my bones.
Oh,
He get a horn? She get a horn before her joint? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she get the horn. She get the horn.
No doubt.
Okay.
She the queen.
Okay. So, where was I? The person, they think they know what the person's going to say before they say it, and can often expect their partner to know how they feel without expressing it. One partner may become the fixer and immediately respond to their partner's upset with a solution. Leo. He feels the same way. He doesn't feel heard in this house, I think. This ends up frustrating the person trying to share their experience because they either don't feel heard or get the message from their partner that it isn't okay to feel that way. That something must be wrong with them or feeling the way they do. I might have messed that up. But
you good? Keep cooking.
the result is that what begins as a simple conversation and an attempt to share an experience can turn into an argument and conflict, pushing each partner further and further away from each other. He also said, he gave a little scenario about, I guess, a couple that he was working with. He said, some time ago, I met a couple having a severe marital problem. When they came in for counseling, the wife described everything in detail, but the husband said nothing. I tried to get him to talk, but he was sullen and answered every question with only 1 or 2 words. But his wife always jumped in to give more complete answers. Finally, I invited her to leave the room, then spoke with him alone. At first, he said very little, but when he found that I gave him time to formulate his answers and that I didn't interrupt, criticize, or judge him, he began to speak freely. From that point on, I said little. As the interview drew to a close, he seemed relieved. With real feeling, he said, "Thanks for listening to me. I wanted to tell my wife these things for years, but she never wants to hear what I have to say." The man had a difficult time formulating and expressing his thoughts, but he showed deep feeling. And as he was clearly relieved to finally be able to put those feelings into words, fortunately, this couple was able to rediscover that they loved each other dearly, both wanted to build a strong, supportive marriage, and both wanted to do their part. Thanks, nice.
Marinate.
Yeah. I thought that was dope because it can either be the female or the male in the relationship that feel like they're not being heard, or maybe you're not saying it. Like, I always feel like Ken's so smart and I'm so High Point country that I admit it, I love it.
You brilliant though.
I'm smart. Thanks, babe. But what I'm saying is, in arguments, you can really break things down. And I just be like, look, let's get straight to the point. Hey, Dallas, how are you? Great. Now go take a shower. I hope you had a great play day. School tomorrow. We have arguments, and you know it. Sometimes I say to you, like, what I'm trying to say, and you just be looking at me like, say it. But sometimes, and that could be my fault. And I think a lot of people deal with that because I started it off with saying Ken's so smart, and I feel like I got to say certain things or I got to do it a certain way, and then I'm steady beating myself up because I'm not getting it out. Or you can make me feel that way sometimes.
Right. So I think there's two things. There's one with something I might make you feel that way, and sometimes there's a way you feel something that's projected on me. There's no point, I don't care about smarts and intelligence. I'm learning as I grow that you have to be careful of intellectual vanity. What's the point in having knowledge, wisdom, and understanding if I can't decipher your version and your method of communication regardless of the way I communicate? And that's why we're here tonight, because we're not here to try to solve the cheat code of differences. Our differences are what make us beautiful. Our differences are what attracted us to each other. Yeah. We have to get away from trying to control and change and alter each other's differences, and begin to get rid of all the distractions, the interference, and the static that's causing us not to be able to clearly see and appreciate our differences. Yeah. You ready to get into this? Oh, I bet. That was heavy. Like that was dope, Mama.
Thank you, baby.
You such a Taylor.
Thank you, baby. Yeah. Shine, for my thing, after we get through with Taylor Talk, I want to come up with one. I want mine soft and cute. But
leave the bombs for me.
Yeah, give him the bombs. So can you be thinking of something when I say, you know what I mean, like something sweet? But thank you, baby. Right there, you were supposed to drop something. So we'll work
something
on
like,
no. No.
All right, this is a tough one, but we're gonna get through it, because I expect for us to also learn something, and everybody watching the better learn with us. And I know Dorikas is catching comments, questions, so on and so forth, so that nothing is being overlooked. Communication acts as the engine under the hood of a relationship. When it is maintained regularly, the relationship performs efficiently, and all other mechanisms of love operate at a high level of performance, allowing both people to travel safely down the interstate of understanding. So, first topic, the filter of expectations. I repeat, the filter of expectations. Filters are somewhat the least expensive part found in almost every form of working machinery known to man. When a designer attempts to build something of great value, which they intend to last for a long period of time, they install filters which are designed to capture and prevent impurities and harmful elements from passing through to the more sensitive and much more expensive components of a machine. That prevents blockage, inability to hear, and threatens to damage the machine as a whole, separation and divorce. The filter of our engines of communication are our expectations. Our filter of expectations determines what we allow to enter into our hearts and minds, or what we block out. So the first step of being able to understand what you said versus what I heard is managing my filter, what you're sending to me, through my own expectations, because my expectations are going to be the determining factor of whether I truly grasp what you said to me. So the question is, how do you feel our expectations affect our ability to understand one another completely and comprehend what each one is trying their best to communicate in that moment? I'll give you a quick example. If you want to talk to me about, I'm going to say something that we never have an issue with, finances, right? But I'm already sitting over here anxious, frustrated, defensive. No matter what you say to me, it's not going to penetrate the core of my heart and my mind and my soul. I'm already clocked out. If it doesn't go in the direction I want it to go, all I'm trying to do is bring it back with some sense of control. So what is your opinion around expectations? Because sometimes I even know, sometimes you come and talk to me sometimes, and I'm like, you already got the conversation mapped out. When you say, hey, babe, I want to bring something to you, and we've gotten beyond that. But there were times when you would come and bring a conversation to me, and if it didn't go the way you had planned for it to go in your head, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, whatever, it caused a huge disruption. So when our expectations are not in order, meaning reaching out to understand first, then to be understood, it can cause a hiccup. Yeah. So what are your thoughts around you personally, your own personal expectations when you come to me with a conversation, and how you're expecting that conversation to play out?
Well, I think before tonight, okay, I would expect for you to just like listen to me. You know, like girls, we want to talk. We don't necessarily always just want answers. We just want to get some stuff off our chest. And I think with you, it became like he's not listening to me. He's listening, but he's pinpointing every little thing, and now it's gonna become a discussion. Now me and him got a problem, and I was trying to go to him about the problem I had with Tamika Johnson. I don't know what Tamika Johnson. I'm just throwing out a name.
I promise you, I don't either.
Shut up. But I felt like I was just expecting you to just. Sometimes I just want you to listen, and I don't want it to always be a debate. Especially if I'm coming to you about something Tamika Johnson did. Now me and you ain't talking, and so now I don't like Tamika and I don't like you tonight. I just needed you to listen to me. Sometimes when we're talking, we solve our own problems. We just need to get it off our chest.
Right.
Is that kind of like what you're talking about?
Absolutely. Like, because when you're coming to me with something on your heart, I'm sitting in the position of an ear. Yeah. You got Q-tips and microphones. Q-tips and microphones. There's only one microphone. So if you got the microphone, I'm Q-tipping it. I should be cleaning out my ears to make sure I hear what you have to say. Yeah. We have to respect the rotation of the Q-tip and the microphone. Too many times we have overlapped, you know what I mean? Especially in the beginning. Like we had some times.
But do you think, I want to ask you this question, do you think that we did that because we both care so much for each other that if somebody else came in and I see you hurt and you see me hurting or frustrated or bothered, we automatically just want to fix it?
I think sometimes, and if I have room to be honest, I think there's been times we both have cared more about making our point than we have about moving our relationship as a whole into a healthy direction. Because I'm a strategist, and in order to move a group of people, if I'm leading a team, I'm leading a company, it has to be more important that I get us to the finish line than demanding or enforcing my point in one particular meeting, because I can veer us off course based on one outburst, one moment of selflessness or negativity. I think there are times when we're very passionate. Passion will have you raising your voice and it comes off as yelling, but you're just passionate about what you feel. Passion may also have you sitting silent because you're so stir crazy that you don't know what to do. So you're scared to do anything wrong. I think growth and maturity pushes people to a place to where I can receive criticism for you. I'm not defensive. I know I know that anything that you're telling me about me is coming from a place of love because I'm your husband. You're not going to manipulate me. You're not going to try to say anything to belittle or degrade me. So I have to release that defense mechanism and open myself up to receive what you have to say, not nitpicking how you say it, when you say it, whoop, the whoop, the whoop, but just getting to a point that I get your point.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of growth and maturity.
But it still makes me wonder, because you mentioned like how, you know, we run a business and we have so many people on our team on Rock Soul. We have a lot of people, and shout out to my Rock Soul team. I miss y'all so much.
Facts.
Jesus Christ. But the way we carry ourselves around them, the way we treat them, the way we talk to them, the way we love on them, the way we cater to them, why is it so hard for us to cater to our business? And we can walk in the room, because I know, Derickis, I know you can relate to this. You run a shop, and everybody that works for you, you want to treat your people the right way. You want people to come back. You want, you know what I mean? I try my best not to be disrespectful to anybody that works on our squad. So if we can do that, and some people, not the people we work with right now, but we've had a lot of business partners who are not here right now, who were just wow, who were just, you know what I mean? And we got to a point where it was like, okay, I can't take no more. But even in that, you and I have both moved in silence. We don't go on social media. We don't tell what the person has done to us. We don't be out here on some blah, 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 right? So if we don't do none of that, and we've been scarred by, why is it so hard for people, for us, for anybody who's listening? Shine any minute if you want to tune in, because you are married. You are. Why is it so hard for us to, and not just that? I got some single folks in the room too. Why is it so hard for us to do that with the person that we love, the person that we care about? Why it's like raw. We just popping out. We just mad. I'm just mad. I get in my car. I leave. That's me. I'm leaving. I don't want to talk. Right. But if you call me and say we got a business call in 5 minutes, and we get on a call and there's somebody on there popping, me and you sitting back and we playing chess. We've learned how to. Why is it so hard in relationship?
The great philosopher Meek Mill once said, "There's levels to this," and that's just it. And sometimes, yes, your heart will say, if you can conduct yourself before this group in this manner, why can't you give that to me as well? I don't love them the same. It's not an excuse. Let me, you know what I mean? I don't love them the same. I'm not as hung up on their opinion of me. I don't necessarily expect anything from that except the exchange at the highest level of joy, harmony. You do what you're supposed to do. I do what I'm supposed to do. And we accomplish what we said we agreed to do. In a marriage, it's more deep. It's way beneath the surface. Your opinion means more to me than anybody walking this earth. And so most people would probably agree, when you're trying to, if I go into a meeting and I got to bring my point, that's my point. It can be rejected. It can be received. We'll talk about it, whatever. I don't hold weight with those opinions, because it's just a business atmosphere. But when I come to you with something, I care very much about your opinion. It weighs on me. It dictates how I move. It dictates how I navigate. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a different level of sometimes anxiety, fear, anxiousness that goes into our exchange versus when I'm in a meeting with any one of our strategic partners.
It still makes me think.
Absolutely.
It makes me think, because, and this is how you know the enemy doesn't want relationships and marriages to work. There shouldn't be fear and anxiety nowhere in any of that, because if we love each other, and your opinion, it matters to me. Theirs don't. I'm not going to say it don't.
Not on the same level.
Yeah, it's just not on the same level.
Correct.
It's just like a salesman. I'm a salesman every day for you. I'm selling love. A salesman will go into a room and they will sell something. It don't matter what they got to say. They're going to dress a certain way. They're going to have a certain, and after it's over, when that person say, you know what, deal, it's almost like, I got it. I feel like marriage and relationships, it needs to be the same way. Every day I need to be waking up selling you love. Every day I need to be making sure that there's no anxiety and there's no fear, because this is something that God has put together. So what I'm feeling in this same room, this business, I'm selling this. I want to get my brand to a certain kind of level. So if I go in this room, I'm going to carry myself a certain way. I'm going to speak a certain tone. That should start in the house first.
But you know why the anxiety comes? The fear, the hesitancy, it's because of the past. It's the times that someone's tried to bring something to the table and they were rejected. They were talked over. They were dismissed.
Yeah.
They were overlooked.
Okay.
So it's not like love shouldn't have those things. What happens is when we abuse that love, because as you said in your demonstration, in the beginning, it's love, it's communication, it's eye contact. Let me hold your hand, boo. Yeah, you can eat the last piece of chicken. But as time goes on and mistakes happen, complacency takes place, commonality takes place, you get used to it, you begin to take advantage of it, and there's a spirit of unappreciation that comes in. Then the anxiety comes in, then the doubt, then the hesitancy, then the reluctancy to get involved. So we're here to figure out how to get past that. You know what I mean? And then for the people who are single, to take some of these nuggets so that they can start doing the work ahead of time, the preliminary action items, so they don't end up in a situation that a lot of the people in the 3, 7, 10 year have gotten to because they abused that clear highway that they once had that's now backed up with a traffic jam of all these different mistakes that have taken place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like, continue to move forward. Boom. One of the things I noticed when we were, I can't remember what tour it was on. It wasn't an Anthony tour. It was one of them tours. It had its own issues.
Hold on one second. Y'all know I'm still a mama, right? Dallas!
Let him be.
He's stomping. Honey, my grandma
I don't
used
think
to
they
my grandma used to be like,
yeah.
who's stomping? Who running? we used to have to sit down when the storm came. We couldn't do much. I'm just saying I don't want him to stomp his way. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm still a mama.
He think you're alpha, a kappa. I don't know what's going on.
He's Sonic right now. Son, I heard you running like Sonic, and I'm glad you got speed. But I need you to not stomp so much because the people that hear you,
Put on your soft feet.
And they told me tell Dallas to stop acting like we know he's some kin of Sonic, but chill out.
All right, so here's one of the things that, you know what I mean, I know that we definitely had to overcome, and we actually had a conversation, and we was like, yo, when we have a conversation, we need to stay in the moment. And so I wanted to break that out a little further because, again, that gets in the way of not hearing what I said and understanding what I said. I call it the windshield versus the rearview mirror.
You're so dope, baby. You're so
I ain't even said nothing yet.
You're just smooth.
That's why I got you.
Smooth.
And I got you.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was waiting on nice.
He over there like this.
It was coming.
So, boom. The windshield or the rearview mirror. When traveling up and down the roads of understanding, we have two options. We can focus on the windshield and what lies ahead and agree to keep our eyes focused on the road. B, we can choose to remain fixated on the rearview mirror of our relationship, constantly bringing up things in the past that serve no value to the destination of our future and divine purpose. When it comes to understanding what I said versus what you heard, how important is it to remain on topic, remain in the present, in the now during conversations, and the potential harm that bringing up past mistakes and past offenses present to conversation and gets in the way of our ability to gain understanding. Windshield versus the rearview mirror.
It's so important to stay and I think, if we can be honest, I like to stay on topic. Me.
Huh?
You and
We can do this live.
Oh, well, yeah, we can do it live.
We both.
Kendall?
You know what? So let me get it. I was gonna let you jump first, but I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh, now you gonna go ahead?
And I'm a Debo. Cause check it out.
I disagree.
Boom, boom, boom,
with
boom,
this.
boom, boom, boom. I said we often use mistakes from the past to gain leverage in a debate, or challenge the discussion when we're backed into corners of accountability. We go through this where we say, and you may say, I may say, hey, babe, I want to appreciate when you did X, Y, Z, right? we don't both do that. Well, I'm gonna say we don't do it because we made an agreement a while back. But let's be honest.
Then you say you hold the mic like this when you ain't.
Facts.
Yeah. So, yeah, you normally be the first one.
Because you know what, I see what you're saying. But here's my position on that. I have no desire to go backwards, but I don't respect hypocrisy. So if you're going to hold me accountable to something in a conversation, say, hey, babe, I want to bring something to your attention. I want to appreciate the way you loaded the dishwasher because you did X, Y, Z, but I just saw you do the same thing last week.
But you got to stop looking in the rearview mirror. You need to look. No, for real.
Because if we get it. So in order to be able to move forward, there has to be some level of emotional integrity where we first check ourselves first.
Pretty much.
And make sure that the thing I'm about to bring to this person, not that I've mastered it, but I've had some kind of a consistent track record in this thing. Again, we're trying to get rid of the disturbances because when something like that happens, a person can clock out. You won't hear what I said versus what you heard. You have to be able to have some kind of track record to be able to bring up a point. Otherwise, it can come off as hypocrisy.
Well, let me ask you this: where does the clean slate start? If you and I get into a spat and we say we're gonna stop doing that, right? We're gonna clean this slate. We're not gonna look in that rearview mirror. We're going for it. If I wake up the next morning and I be like, oh, the dishwasher, which is something I would never do because I don't even want you doing the dishes.
That's why I use that example.
But if I say that, I don't, and I need for everybody to be honest in the room. If we saying we don't want to look in the rearview mirror anymore, then that means we can't go back and be like, well, last week, because we just started a clean slate. We're gonna stay right here, right? We right here, not going back here, not going back.
Got
right?
it.
So is it unfair? Is it hypocrisy if you come back and be like, well, last week you didn't do the dishes either. It's like, I want to stay right here. We right here. We can't look in the rearview mirror. We can't go back, right?
I'm going to put it on the men. That's just the way I rock. Like, I feel like if you want the tempo and the direction to change in your relationship, regardless of who's right, who's wrong, you are the leader. That's one of the things that comes with the crown. That's one of the things that come with submission. That's one of the things that come with being the head of your household. Wearing the crown is not always fair. It's not always balanced, and it's not always comfortable. So regardless of the misunderstanding, if we agree to do something, it's on me.
I agree.
It's on me to say, even if you come to, and we had one the other day, even if you come to me and I know you did that, the way you change the tide is to say, you know what? I agree. I commit to making that change. And then let me do that for a season, and hopefully that will compel you. You never know. You might be in the middle doing that same thing. God may speak to you. God may say, now, hey, my child, that's the same thing you just had your husband agree to change, whatever the case may be, but I can't worry about that. I have to, that's what they mean by love your wife as Christ loved the church. No matter if the church is going forward or backsliding, Christ's going to be the same.
Yeah.
No matter whether you come, tithe, serve, don't serve, Christ's going to be the same. It's tough, but that's how men in relationships have to be. We have to be something that doesn't move, that is a fixture that can be dependable, and then everything else can find its true north around that. So I will put that on myself in this relationship.
I agree. Yeah. And listen, women though, if for me, what I'm learning is not trying to beat him upside the head about certain things, because you don't do it to me. I think it's a woman thing. Like, you know how I was just now with Dallas. Like, Dallas, like I'm on point.
I'll let him fall through the roof and be like, you won't do it again, will you?
I think it's just a woman thing, but I think that if you have someone you're into, y'all, or you have a husband and things been, on fire, y'all first met, and now you start to see certain things, I think it's not cool for us to beat them upside the head with it. I think that it's better to go to God with it in prayer. Because, hey, listen, when I get mad with Kendall sometimes, I just, go to God about certain things. And then he come in and he be like, I just stomp my toe. I be like, thank you, Lord.
What? That's what we've been doing?
I be like, see there? He look at you. Okay, God, you whipped him. He be whipping you.
That got nothing to do with me stomping my toes because I got a 13 and a half. And them
Baby,
stairs
your
is real
toe,
narrow
your
over there.
head, your feet. I'll be like, oh, Lord, you beat him. You got him,
See,
Lord.
I don't want to do that, gang, because then when you come in there and talk about you need to ice your knee, what I'm going to say, thank you, God.
No, because I ain't been doing that. It's when you be bad.
You
God
coming
be
in
like,
limping,
all
I'm
right,
going to say,
son.
speak, Lord. Speak, Lord. Let him use you. And you wobbling like, who does that? Get out of here.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, time be
I'm
flying,
done.
man. I don't know about this hour, but I want to get one more out. Yeah, like it's 1:45.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
But that's okay, though, because we got a book coming, and we're going to talk about so much.
Yeah, we had a dope call today. All right, so bet. I'm gonna push this on the men, but I want you to chime in as best possible. Because again,
I want the men, let them talk. They scared.
right, so when it comes to my wife, I came up with an acronym called SHE. SHE. This is the method that I've been testing on the Lodo to communicate with you. SHE. Silence, heart, then ear. Okay? Many of us fail in capturing what our lover is saying because we tend to activate the right communication techniques in the wrong order. To no fault of our own, we simply have been unaware of the science and methodology of listening to understand. When we first silence our spirit as men, we open our minds to the endless possibilities that there is more to know than what we know in that present moment. Then we have to open up our heart. When we open up our heart, we can remove pride, ego, selflessness, and that infamous joker called control. Oftentimes, what I said versus what you heard comes from a desire to control the outcome of the conversation, and that's futile. At that point, I can open up my ear because there's several scriptures, and I made sure I jotted them this time, that let you know that you don't listen with your ear. And that's where I used to make the greatest mistake. And you'd be like, babe, you're not listening. And I said, I hear you. Yeah, you would say, baby, but you're not listening to me. I said, I heard what you said. You hear through your ear, but you listen through your heart.
Come on now.
And I didn't realize that. Proverbs 2:2 says, so train your heart to listen. 1 Kings 3:9, he asked God to give your servant a listening heart. Those stuck out to me because I realized when I hear through my ear, I'm probably processing it through my flesh, what I want, my expectations, self-defense, so on and so forth. But when I listen through my heart, I will receive what you have to say with no need to defend myself, no need to accuse you, and no need to steer us off course as the head of this relationship. And also from the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting away from trying to hear you. I don't want to hear anything you got to say. I want to listen to everything that's on your heart. And that takes a different posture. Mm-hmm. So I first have to silence my spirit, intellectual vanity. Don't matter what book I read. None of that matters when you come and talk to me. Then I have to activate my heart. This is not personal. This is intimate because I'm realizing that what you share, you're basically bringing me a gift, with a bow wrap on it, because you could keep it to yourself. You could let it fester. You could let it grow. You could let it, eat you alive, and I'll lose you in the process. So when you're coming to me, it's a gift because I'm getting an opportunity to fix something that's wrong. I shouldn't treat it as, well, how you going to come at me? Well, what, I failed? You trying to say I can't, whoop, whoop, whoop? No. This is a beautiful opportunity for me to get a promotion in the offices of your heart. Then my ear will catch everything that you need to say, everything you're trying to say, and everything that's weighing on your heart. Because there's too many times where you came to me about something you were heavy about, I missed it, and you walked away feeling more pain than you came to me with in the first place. So a lot of us know the right things to do, but we don't necessarily know the right order. Men, silence your pride. Silence your intellectual vanity. Silence your ego. Then activate your heart. Your heart's not your feelings. It's not your emotions. It's the office where you filter and process things in a mature manner so that you respond instead of react. The moment you in a situation and you react, you are outside of the will. You are outside of leadership. you have to get all the information in regardless, because women, yes, you'll go all the way around South Boulevard and all the way downtown, stop at the grocery store, make sure you get some eggplant, and then come back to the house, right? But let you make your point. How do you need to make your point? And then I can respond in such a way that makes you feel like a little girl again, that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel secure. So that's my new thing. It's called She. You know, silence, heart, and then my ear.
And every woman wants she. Every woman wants she. My thing that I would like to say, since this is for the men, because I'm going to back off and let the men kind of, speak on that, because we want more men to come. And I really believe that a lot of men watch with their girls and their old ladies or whatever the case may be. But I think that a lot of that is based around having a relationship with the Father. If you don't have it, I'm talking to the men and the women, because it has to be both ways. If you don't have that relationship with the Father, and to be able to, like, you just went to scriptures, you just went to your word earlier today. I don't know what's been like drawing me to Job, but I've been reading Job so much. And I love the story. Is just, I think, because I can relate. But by me getting into my scriptures and getting into more books and journaling, Albert, do you see a book over there on the thing? I think I'll put them behind the bar. Okay, Albert, it should be nice. It should be like, it's a blue Bible, and then there's another little, pass me both of those, because the one thing that we want y'all to know is we always started off with, like, we not trying to be, thank you, bro, we not trying to be, both of them, I just want to say, So this book was given to me by First Lady Vicky Gray. Lord Gray. Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. She probably watching and she knows exactly what I'm talking about. This was given to me by her, this Bible, and as you can see, I got like little tabs and stuff in it.
Better study, girl.
Come on. This is a shocker for me. I tell y'all all the time, like, I wasn't a reader. Just give me a song and let me hear some music. And then I got myself a journal to begin to journal. But I was saying that I think that it all boils down to us getting in the Word and building that relationship with the true celebrity, which is the man upstairs. And I don't think you and I, Kendall, would be sitting right here if it wasn't for him. And that's why when you went back to the scriptures and you were saying, like, this is how you know, this is how you came up with the whole she thing. I think those scriptures are guiding you and leading you, and you know the word way more than I know the word. I've been in church all my life, but I'm just now getting the word, like, in me. So I would say to the men and the women, if you want a strong relationship and you want it to last for real, I think the only way that works is by having God guiding you and leading you. He's the best teacher. He is the best teacher. So I respect you that's why I fell in love with you for that. Remember?
But I remember, yeah, facts.
Okay, go ahead.
But I also remember I told you sometime last year that I realized I had so much word in my head, but it hadn't translated to my heart. I could flip the scripture, boom, 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 quote it, but you'd be like, we sitting here arguing. Didn't you just spend 6 hours up in the office reading your word?
I would call it.
And I started to be like, God, what is that about? So there's a difference between trying to science out the scriptures than surrendering. And I believe if communication is a hurdle you're dealing with in your relationship and you feel like you're not being heard, go to James 1. Go to all of James, because he talks about that untamable tongue. Go to James 1 where he's telling you, be slow to speak, quick to listen, slow to wrath. Get that within you first.
Yeah.
And then when you feel like you've mastered it and you've anchored yourself in it, then you can make a request for the other person to do something. Too often times we're wanting somebody on the other end to be what we haven't put an effort to be ourselves. And again, that's that hypocrisy And couples have this thing where they're clashing and clashing and clashing because neither one are offering what they're requesting. And another important thing to do, it seems elementary, seek confirmation. So what I heard you say, well, if I'm hearing you correct, which is we do that, and you be
Pastor
like,
Darren taught us that. Though.
yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that day we called him. Yo, we were acting like
we
some
was.
goons.
Oh my God, we looked up and Pastor Darren.
I was
and
like,
Vicky,
yo,
we
they
was
not even
like,
gonna let us back in church again. That one day we was out of town.
Yeah, Pastor Darren, he was like, yo, so you should say like, when you guys are having a conversation, he would say after Kendall gets through speaking, then you say, so what I heard you say was.
Right.
So I can make sure that's what I heard him say, and Kendall would do the same thing.
And that's the maturity level between reacting and responding.
Yeah.
If you love that woman, if you love that man, one great way to fight for your relationship is to start moving away from reacting and move towards responding. And part of response is, boom, EMTs, when they come to the scene, they don't just start pumping on the chest and pumping you full of stuff. They say, is he breathing? Does he have a pulse? Has he taken it? They go through this checklist before they respond. If they come to the scene and just react, they could pump you with something that you're allergic to. They could do something that counteracts with anything that you're taking. They have to assess the scene to make sure that they resuscitate you in the right manner. When your relationship is laid out on the floor and it's not breathing and it's turning blue, don't just start pumping it with whatever you want to pump. Go through the checklist. So if I'm hearing you correctly, this is what you're saying. I did. This is how you're saying it made you feel. Now, what would you like to see me do that can help eliminate that? Because I don't want you to feel that way. Now we can start to bring this thing back to health.
So I think that's my question for my husband, my king, tonight. And I want that, if you don't mind, I would like to both, we do something, and who's ever watching, you guys do this with us, like, let's sit down and write it. Let's write it out. Sometimes I realize that writing things out instead of having that conversation, especially if y'all ain't on one right now, y'all ain't cool.
Not texting.
Not texting.
Not texting.
No.
Put that phone down.
But write it out. Like, write it down. Write a letter. I know you were like, write a letter. He right there in the living room, my right hand. You want me to write? Yeah.
How many letters I done slid up under the
Oh
door
my
when
God,
you was mad
Kendall
at me and
writes
you
so
wouldn't talk?
much, yeah.
So thick I can't even get it under there.
Yeah, Kendall writes. I get one every morning, and I just be like, I texted the other day. I was like, I'm gonna get better. I need to send you some notes too, babe. But that's Kendall's love language. That's how he speaks. And so I realized that, okay, I'm gonna fall back and we're gonna write to each other. And so I would say to you guys, write it out. And that's what I would like for me and you to do. And we're gonna come back next Tuesday and talk about what were some of the things that we wrote out. On how I can hear you more and be there for you, and some things that I need to work on so that you can feel like you're heard and that I can feel like I am heard.
And we're gonna go to Derek, because I know he probably got something that's so fire.
He probably came up with something himself. He
Fact.
got to this house today and was arguing with me since he walked through the door. So there you have it.
But that hair laid though. You know what I'm saying?
It's the dress for me.
It's the dress for me. All right. Just one more thing on the filter part. Really let that resonate in, because one of the most beautiful aspects of the filters is you got the filters in my house. I got to learn. I got to change them right now. I have to change them every 6 months. You have to filter out your perspective, your expectations, your desires, your wants. Where are you now? Every couple of months. You can't sit down and have this conversation with someone you love in 2020 and not change that filter to 2024, because you're going to end up with a backed up filter. You're going to breathe in toxins of misunderstanding, and you're going to destroy the AC unit that God has given you. You have to come back on a scheduled, regular basis. And I've definitely gotten better with that with my wife, when I'm like, where you at right now? Like, what's important to you? How you feel about your career? Like, how you feel as far as a mother, where you feel you're at, where you want to go. Where am I? What can I do to keep you in love or to keep you motivated? Am I lacking in certain areas? That's important to do, so you don't make the assumption, because you're not the woman that I married. I'm not the man that you married, and I mean it in the most positive sense. You have blossomed. Like, you remember that movie we was watching the other day, man? They had that little flower thing that jumped on there, like, it only been that night or something there.
Normally I'm with you. You lost me on that.
I'm just having fun, but I mean, you remember that we was watching Crazy Rich Asians?
Oh yeah,
and
it
they
was so
had that
good.
one flower that was so expensive,
Yeah.
but it only blossomed at that night, like it was that fragile. Like that's how I see you. Like you blossom in such a beautiful way and demonstration. So I can't assume that next year you're gonna want, and expect the same things from me that you did last year. I have to change that filter.
But I also I want to say something like you came into my life and you pushed me to a different place in my life. I was able to see some things for myself, so I give God credit, I give you credit, and I give myself credit. But that blossoming has something to do with you coming into my life. So now that flower has blossomed, now I got to grow some more. And it's going to take some different stuff. It might not take the same stuff that it took, right? And so you planted a seed. You planted that seed. The day I met you, you planted a seed when you came to D.C., and we spent that time just talking. You planted a seed when I got back to Charlotte, and I began to see that everything you were talking about in D.C. was real, right? You wasn't BSing. You was living that way. You were still treating me the same way. You wasn't asking me for anything. You wasn't trying to lay with me. You wasn't trying to, none of that stuff, right? You were quoting scriptures. You were conversating with me. You planted that seed. So now that it's grown and blossomed, we're changing. You got to do some different things, as well as I got to make sure I do. You get where I'm going?
Yeah, 110%.
So I thank you, because I wasn't wanting to read. I cleared a lot of stuff out of my life because of you.
But let's do this, and Dorigas, I promise I'm done.
Okay,
I really want to hear from the
okay.
people. I just want to say this. I appreciate everybody who shows me love and says, we thank you for coming into Fantasia's life. You know, I'm not used to saying your name. You know, coming into her life.
You're so different, too.
Yeah.
No, so.
Coming into her life and woo, the woo, the woo. Let me say this right now in front of every one of you. Y'all have no clue of the man that I was before she came into my life. And had cameras been following me since I was 19, y'all would have told her to run from the hills and don't touch me with a 20-foot pole. We're going to get to a point that we're able to share my testimony, and then I hope you're able to see the impact that she's had on my life and how I've matured and become a better man. And I promise you, there's a lot of people out there looking, saying, I'm not the person now that they knew. You know what I mean? At that particular time. So we've been a blessing to each other, this marriage, because of the way we protect it and we preserve it, and we isolate it from certain things, is allowing both of us to grow in a safe way. And I appreciate you and I salute you. You know what I'm saying? You harder than a lot of these dudes out here. You know what I mean? Facts. So
That's right. I ride, honey.
I know you
Oh,
will.
you know I will.
Yo,
I'll be like, who won't smoke? In my church shoes. Who won't smoke?
In the church shoes.
Yeah, honey. I'm laying oil, slinging oil. Bring your sheets.
Dorigas, what's up, man? Straight up, yo. They're going to be like, I don't even want my question answered no more.
I'm slinging oil. That's the truth.
We in here. There's other people in here. Y'all still on live.
Man, hey, we was on a call with a potential writer today, and I forgot she was on the call,
Oh,
boy.
my God. We did go
I want my wife
in.
all the time. I want my last
She
time
was just
whipped
looking
cream.
at us, and then I forgot. I was like, oh, ma'am, please forgive him.
Don't mind me.
So the same stuff he be doing on here, y'all, he be doing on business.
Man, I'm a full-grown husband.
Sean, I was looking at Kendall like, hey, get back to the Zoom.
How she gonna write about me and she don't know who I am?
Come on. And shout outs to her, because I think she's watching. She was a sweet, sweet lady.
Oh, that is right. Yeah,
Yeah.
she know it's real.
See,
What's up?
you see what he was doing earlier today? He's doing it now. Okay, go ahead, Dorigas. I'm sorry. He's sorry. It wasn't my fault.
I ain't no player. I just flirt a lot. What's up, bruh?
Hey guys.
What's up, bro?
Okay. By the way, it's the hair for me, but yeah, to the question. But about the question, this question is actually from a brother. Yeah. What if you hear her, but you need time to respond, and your silence goes left?
So I actually hit this in my notes, but we run out of time. There's a difference between silence and clocking out. Silence has a time limit. Silence has an approach. Clocking out is immature and emotional weakness. If you need some time to think, you need to make that clear to her in a way that she still feels heard, understood, and invited. You need to say, yo, I'm not saying this verbatim, but just as a scenario, I heard what you said. I really want to process this. You know, it's important to me. I don't exactly know how I want to respond right now, but I do want to respond. Is it okay for me to, is it okay? Now the silence isn't something you're doing, it's something we agreed. Is it okay if I just take a couple hours, let me just get out the house and let me just go sit outside, and then I give you my word as your husband, I will come back and I will address what you feel. That takes a different level of emotional management than just to go silent. That's cowardly. And that hurts because you won't want somebody to do it to you. So I think the way we do anything, our delivery, our approach, you can do anything with a woman. When a woman loves you, you can do and get anything that you want as long as you do it in the same level of love and respect. So I would encourage that brother. First of all, salute for a brother asking the question. I would say, is it okay that I just take some time? And when that time comes, you better come back with something, you know what I mean, that shows you truly took, that you weren't on, you know, going to play video games and Call of Duty, but you were truly taking some time to understand what she felt and come back and let her know that, and then she'll start to feel more comfortable in your times of silence.
And I would say to your lady, if you have a old lady, if you got to respect that. If he comes to you that way, you have to respect it, and you can't be nag, I want it now, nah, I want
That's
it.
control.
Yeah, because now what you're gonna get when it comes to your man is a whole entire clock out. If he humbles himself and comes to you in that order, you have to respect that and allow him to have that time, so that when he comes back, everything that your questions will be answered in a manner where it's not y'all both popping off at each other.
Facts.
Speaking of clocking out and delivery, how do you manage your feelings so that your partner don't hear your frustration?
Say that one more time.
How do you manage your feelings so that your partner do not hear your frustration? You know, like sometimes in communicating.
I think if you got to manage it, then you're not here, correct me if I'm wrong, then you're listening, everything you're listening to, you're filtering it through a negative. It's almost like, I'm going to put my mic down, but for example, just start talking to me. And if the girl is doing this or the guy's doing this, wrong things, they filtering it the wrong way.
I love to talk because I can come right back to that dress, that hair, them lashes. You got that chocolate skin. You know what I'm saying? I be forgetting that you're a singer sometimes, you know, because you don't sing around here. You know what I mean?
Wrong thing. You're not even listening.
Yo, body language is communication. Body language is communication.
You are
what are you saying?
For real. I'll never forget when me and Kendall first went to counseling. Pastor Darren was watching me, and the whole time Kendall was talking, I was like this. So he said, I'm watching your body language. And it seems like, and I'm just shaking my leg. He was like, yeah, but I study body language.
You communicating that you're irritated, that you're ready to say what you got to say. Body language is equal to verbal communication. So what are you saying? Physically, posture-wise, what are you saying? Because you're saying something.
Yeah.
If you don't give eye contact.
You're filtering it the wrong way if feelings begin to rise up. Because, listen, I know we're human and we all have feelings. But if you and I need to come and sit down, Ken, and we're coming into this theater room and we're going down there, then we need to leave our feelings at the door. Because if we don't, we're not going to get anything accomplished. Because I'm going to stand on my feelings. You're going to stand on yours. Right? Got to leave them at the door.
And here, we're
hard,
not
but
saying
gotta
discount
do it.
your feelings. What we're saying is don't let your feelings and emotions rule your delivery.
Yeah.
If you really want to be heard, then be accountable to how you present that topic or that situation. Don't just throw it like bop, 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 bop. I'm telling you, turn, face the person, take a hand. You can melt. I'll melt you.
I'm going to kiss my way through, y'all. I'm going to just kiss him and
And
be
boy,
like,
you got some.
Kendall Lamar Taylor.
That's what my mama named me.
I'm done.
But I'm just saying.
Drop the bomb, Shine.
But if you turn, full grown husband, I'm saying mine in the mic, so keep playing. Body language. Turn and face the person. Hold a hand. Matter of fact, sometimes you got to do it for yourself. There have been times my wife's coming with something, I feel my breathing changing and all that. Like, I had to get away from that. I had to just take a deep breath, turn towards my wife. You know, sometimes you used to talk to me and I would just look down, you know what I mean, because your eyebrows be up, whatever. But who's to say that when you look into my eyes and I'm calm, even though you may be all over the place, that it won't calm you down?
Yeah.
I don't have to say lower your voice.
Well, I told you that when we first met. I was like, when we first got married, I would just sit and listen to Kendall talk. I'm going to give y'all an example, and don't go nowhere with this. If you do, I don't care. I invited Kendall to my house for the 4th of July for the first time, and I used to be, like, crazy about my brothers. I'm still crazy about my brothers to the point where you would think I was the brother. If somebody bothered them, I'm going real High Point. If there's anybody from High Point on here, I think you know what I'm talking about. So that night, I was about to go High Point, and Kendall pulled me in because somebody got to tussling and fighting, and so I was like, I'm about to go down the street and beat somebody up for my brother. He pulled me in, and he looked at me and said, "You are a queen. What are you doing?" And I never forget that night. I just calmed right on down and was like,
Now, I could have said, yo, what you doing? You going there acting like a da-da-da-da-da-da.
yeah, then that would have made me just be like, you know what?
Right. But my approach took all the hot air out of that balloon.
It did.
But like you said in the beginning of your demonstration, most relationships start like that in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then somehow they find their way back to, man, you got to go back.
Yeah.
You got to adopt some new methods of communication.
Yeah.
And it's usually just patience, love, and tempo.
Yeah.
That'll change anything.
I know some people are like, what? Fantasia's about to fight?
Man,
Yes,
you better try
don't
Jesus.
let the idol
She
be a
got
Christian.
hands.
Try Jesus.
This one got
Don't
some hands,
try
I'm telling
me. Yeah.
What else you got, bro? We'll try to get one more and let
one more.
Nice get back on the stove.
Okay, one more. I'm gonna phrase this a little differently the way that I wrote it down. Okay. Let's argue.
No.
Women are programmed to listen, men are not.
That's a lie.
That's a lie? That's a lie?
That's a lie.
That's a lie?
Men, listen, we struggle with communication. Now, hear me. Communication is listening and speaking. Men are not as good as women with expressing how we feel. We'll tell you what we think about something, and that's probably because I'm the same way. I don't want to spend 20 minutes talking about the problem. I want to spend 5 minutes talking about the problem and spend 15 working on the solution. But I have to give you that 15 minutes if you need it. Like, most men are solution driven. You come to us with something, we don't really want to hear about it. We just want to fix it. But women want you to fully understand how this made me feel, what she said, and why you hate that job, and why you ain't going to be her friend no more, and why you blocked her and unfollowed her on Facebook. Let her breathe. Let her get it out, and then say what you got to say. But I wouldn't say that women know how to listen. I think that women, and this is just my opinion, women are better with expressing what they feel in here. But when we don't know how to navigate through this, we just go silent. We go dark.
Right.
And that's not healthy either.
That's not it.
That's not healthy either.
Right.
It really is emotional immaturity. And I know I've spent most of my life being emotionally immature, thinking it was the right thing to do. And it was like, nah, you have to confront what you feel and still maintain your leadership and love and your tempo while doing it.
I will say to the mothers that are watching, I know most of the men in here be like, well, I ain't trying to marry somebody that's my mama or be somebody my mama. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is to all of the women who are watching and you have sons, I say that you have to start early, not because I'm realizing like my son is very clingy to me. My daughter is very like, girl, bye. I'll call you later, mom. You know, that's just how it goes. But boys are clingy to their mothers. And so sometimes we can make them spoiled, rotten, and we want to kiss and hug them. And, I mean, I don't think that will ever change for me. I want to hug. I don't care how old he gets. But I also want to start sitting down with him and teaching him that he doesn't have to hold things in, and teaching him how to express himself and spending that time with him and not, just being distant. Because I think that that's just the nature of a man, and I think that the woman helps bring that out.
And while you're teaching them, he needs to see me doing.
Pretty much.
You see what I'm saying?
Amen.
Because I never saw a man in the house expressing his feelings to my mother, expressing his feelings from a hard day. Because a lot, again, black men don't have their fathers in the home.
Yeah.
So to that person who presented that question, just always keep in mind what's really going on in our culture. When you decide to get into a relationship, you're not just marrying that person and their family. You're marrying all the byproducts of our culture as black people.
Yes, indeed.
And our culture, while it has some very attractive and entertaining things, it has some side effects.
Oh, my God.
Our culture has some side effects, and it is birthing and producing and pushing out some unhealthy things in our young black men.
Yep.
So when you want to sit in his passenger seat, keep in mind what we represent, what we go through. Did he have a father in his home? Did he have somebody showing him to be the man you want him to be? And if he doesn't, what are your plans to help and aid him become that, instead of holding him accountable to something just because of what you want? That's selfishness.
Yeah. Man, I think that leads us to our next Tuesday, which is generational curses. I've been talking about it. I was talking about it.
I thought we
on
were
the
doing
Zoom.
no crowns in the crib.
No crowns in the crib, but it all boils down to generational curses. I'm for real, because generationally, like, you cannot be in a relationship if you don't sit back as, all of us in this room, we are all friends. And when we cut from Taylor Talk, y'all, we sit in here for about an hour and just talk. Just communicating, just spitting, like just Sean talks, Zarika's talks. And I feel like until you get to a point where you realize, like, oh, shoot, I carry some stuff from my mother and my father, and from her mother and her father, and I got to break some generational curses, or I can't have a healthy anything. So we can still talk about no crowns in the crib, because I think that's dope. But I think even this conversation, that conversation, anything that we talk about, I still feel like it boils down to generational curses that we've got to break off of our lives. You know what I mean?
I agree.
See what I'm saying? Say, bruh. Real high point, like, say, bruh.
But yeah, just keep that in mind. We have to love different in our culture. We weren't trained to love, and it is actually profitable and of great value to certain systems and institutions that we stay that way. And if we can learn to love ourselves and love each other, it will have more impact than any protest, any riot, any act of violence on this earth. And we will also have the support of our Heavenly Father, who will move on our behalf. Love truly does conquer all. Let's pray. Father, you are the master creator of all good and perfect things. There's none higher than you. There's none more worthy. You are wisdom. You are eternity. Everything rests in the palm of your hand. We are blessed that you even sit high and look low upon us, for we are nothing but flesh and dirt. But you created us, and you don't do anything by happenstance. You do it for a destined end. We ask, Lord God, while we have your attention, that you impart something into each and every one of us that will unclog our ears, our hearts, and our minds, so that we can have healthy interaction and exchanges with ourselves first, with our family, with our loved ones and the communities in which we serve. Allow us to identify anything in us that does not look like you before we hold anybody else accountable for. Your word says first remove the plank from your eye, and then you will be able to see the splinter in your brother's eye. Let us not be hypocrites. Let us not live by double standards, but let us live with the most and the highest level of integrity as it relates to love and relationship. Father, I'm going to clock out. Lord, I love you, and I pray that you just, it's somebody out there that's truly struggling and toiling with being heard and being understood, and they're feeling broken. They're feeling that they're invisible. But I ask that you wrap your arms around him or her in such a way that that feeling vanishes and they don't hang it on man to fill that void that only you can step in and complete. And with that, we say that we love you, we thank you, we honor you, and we believe. Amen. Amen.
You just tapped in, honey. I was about to be like my grandma. I was going to end it with you. Father, we
They
thank
want you to
you.
sing anyway.
Oh,
Every week
Father,
she going
we
to sing
thank
something.
you. Oh, Father. You know, I just want to go down, you know. That's that good old, that, Derekas know what I'm talking about, don't you, D? Ooh, boy, you can pray. Good, great tomato.
When you go through what I've been through,
I know that's right.
when you go through what I've been through.
I know that's right. Oh, you know I know, right?
All right, I'm going to let DJ Nice get on the stove.
Oh, Lord. Oh, when your heart is heavy and you can't say nothing, all you can do is just shine nice. Do something to make the people happy, Lord. I thank you. Thank you, Albert. Thank you, Albert, for this body contract. Hey, again, we want to thank y'all for tuning in. I ask that your week be a great one, and we'll see you next Tuesday. What, Derekas?